Summary of Paradise of the Blind by Duong Thu Huong. In the 1980s, Hang, a young Vietnamese lady, is working as an exported worker in Russia. One day, she gets a telegram from her uncle Chin. Chin tells her he is sick and wants her to come to Moscow to see him. Hang doesn't want to help because she doesn't know him well and she just got better from being sick, but she feels obligated to her mother, K, to help K's only brother. A lot of Paradise of the Blind is told through flashbacks while Hang is on the train to Moscow. First, Hang talks about the first time K told her about her dad, Tun. Tun worked as a teacher, and K, whose parents died when she was 19, sold things on the street to help pay the bills. They fell in love quickly and got married soon after. But when Uncle Chin came back from the war that freed Vietnam from French rule, he told K that Tun, whose family was a farmer, was part of the landowner class and that they should be punished for stealing land. Uncle Chin joined the Communist Party and started to change the way land was used. Tun left the town, and his sister Tam and mother Nhu were slandered in public. Because of this, Nhu got sick and died, and Tam's land was taken away from her and given to other people. While this was going on, K tried to find Tun but couldn't. Soon after, Uncle Chin left the town to join the land reform section. This was the start of the rectification of errors. During this election, the Communist Party saw that land reform had only led to chaos and unhappiness. They changed the status of farmers to middle peasantry and undid a lot of the land redistribution they had done. The locals were mad at Chin because he helped with land reform. Because they didn't like him or K sold her parents' house and moved to Hanoi. After 10 years, Hang is born. As she grows up in Hanoi, she and her mother have a very close bond. In the city one day, Uncle Chin shows up after not seeing K for 10 years. Hang is 9 years old at the time. As a merchant, K is now part of the exploiting class, he tells her. He suggests that she get a job in a plant. She says she needs to make enough money to take care of her daughter, Quebec. After that, Uncle Chin asks K to give him his share of the money from the house sale. He tells K that she will get the money from their old town and bring it back to him. Hang continues to ask K about her father when she and Hang go to the town where K grew up. K tells her that Tun moved to a different village, got married again, and had 2 boys. However, when he learned about the rectification of errors, he went back to K's village and they made love again. This is how Hang was born. Hang and K meet Hang's Aunt Tam for the first time when they get to K's old town. Tam is very happy to meet Hang and feeds them a lot of food. There is also some knowledge from Aunt Tam about what happened after the rectification of errors. Aunt Tam worked hard to make her house look like it did when it was first built, and she set the goal of becoming wealthy to honor her ancestors. She tells K what happened to Tun after she got pregnant and blames Uncle Chin for being in charge of the land reform. He had gone back to his first wife and asked to stay in the town with K while she was pregnant. When his wife said no, he killed himself out of shame. Aunt Tam says that if Uncle Chin hadn't been mean to Tun, this would never have happened. Hang and K stay in the town for a week. When they leave to go back to Hanoi, Aunt Tam gives Hang food, gold earrings, and 2 rings to take with her. Hang is shocked because he thinks the gifts are too fancy for a 9-year-old. K gives Uncle Chin the money he asked for when they get back to the city. Soon after, Tet comes around, and Aunt Tam goes to Hanoi to give Hang a lot of food for the New Year's party as an offering to Tun's memory. Hang also gets a big stack of cash to spend however she pleases. As summer and spring go by, K fixes a wall in their kitchen. Hang tells them to sell the earrings K's Aunt Tam gave her so that they can fix their roof, but K says she can't because she plans to pay for the repairs by Tet that year. Hang says that K has become less close to her since she met Aunt Tam. Soon after, K learns that Uncle Chin is sick. They find him at home and find that he isn't really sick. They also meet his wife, whom they call Aunt Chin, and his 2 kids, Tuan and Tuesday. K doesn't get along with Uncle Chin or Aunt Chin, so she and Hang leave quickly. There isn't much food for them, though, So Kay sends Hang back to their house the next day with a lot of food. They don't care much about Kay, but she wants to do a lot for Uncle Chin's family. This makes Hang mad. That year for Tet, Kay buys enough food for a big feast and gives it to Uncle Chin and his family, but he doesn't try to fix their roof. 1 year goes by, and Kay buys Uncle Chin a lot of food for their Tet feast again. Aunt Tam also comes with her own feast for Hang a few days before Tet. Hang feels bad because she knows Kay was counting on Aunt Tam to feed them so Kay could buy Uncle Chin with her savings. Hang thinks about how different the scenery in her home country is from the countryside in Russia as she rides the train to Moscow in the present. She had always loved looking at the duckweed flowers, but as she got older, she saw how they covered up how poor and run down the ponds and towns were around them. Hang then goes back to her thoughts and flashes back to when she was accepted to the Institute for the Social Sciences. In honor of Hang, Aunt Tam plans to throw a huge feast for everyone in her village. When Hang's mother finds out that she can't throw Hang a feast before she goes to the town, she treats her badly. Hang disagrees and says that she and her mother have always lived a simple, happy life together. Hang thinks that all she wants is her mother's love, but her mother wants Uncle Chin and his family to like her. The dinner at Aunt Tam's is very fancy, and Hang goes there. At the banquet, Hang plays the successful niece while Aunt Tam makes the guests laugh. Aunt Tam also says bad things about Mr. Duong, the vice president of the town, while she tells her guests stories about different government leaders. Back on the train, Hang thinks about the time a year ago when Uncle Chin first told her she had to come to Moscow. He bought things on the black market with the things she brought him in her bag. He had only been interested in what was in her bag and hadn't told her about her mother's health. This made her angry. Hang makes friends with an older guy on the train to Moscow in the present and calls him her traveling companion. When 2 drunk guys on the train try to bother her, he stands up for her. Hang goes back to her house and starts college after the dinner at Aunt Tam's. She and Kay are happy together for a while until Uncle Chin is diagnosed with diabetes the following year. By cutting back on their own food, Kay starts to save money for him. A lot of weight is lost by Hang to the point where she wants to sell a ring that Aunt Tam gave her so that they can eat. Because of this, Kay yells at her to be quiet. Aunt Tam comes to see them the next day and finds out what's going on. She gives Hang food and asks for the earrings and rings back. Aunt Tam tells Kay she won't let her use her money to feed Uncle Chin when Kay lies and says she gave the rings to friends to invest in a business. Once that happens, things between Kay and Hang get worse until Hang tells Kay she lied to Aunt Tam and Kay kicks her out of the house. Hang then stays in a room at her high school and keeps going to college. Hang misses her mother, but Aunt Tam gives her more food and money than she needs. Hang finds out from a friend one day that her mother was hit by a car and had to have her leg cut off. For this reason, Hang says, she had to move to Russia and work there to help support her mother. Hang gets to Moscow in the present. Uncle Chin is no longer in the hospital, she finds out. Instead, he is cooking and cleaning for Vietnamese graduate students. A student Hang calls the Bohemian makes fun of him because he says he believes in strict Communist Party ideals but trades on the black market, which goes against those ideals. The next morning, the Bohemian, who Hang finds out went to college with her, tells Hang that Uncle Chin called her to ask for money and for help selling his goods on the black market since she speaks Russian so well. The Bohemian gives Hang money to pay for Uncle Chin's shipping costs, and Hang quickly gives the money to Uncle Chin before leaving. Hang gets another letter right away telling her that Aunt Tam is dying when she gets back to the dorm where she lives with other exported workers. Hang goes back to Hanoi and stops for a short time at her mother's house. Kay seems more interested in Uncle Chin than in Hang, which makes Hang angry again. Hang then goes to Aunt Tam's house and sees how weak Aunt Tam is. Aunt Tam gives her a map and the key to a trunk that holds all the jewelry she has been saving. A trunk that holds Hang's fortune. Hang's Aunt Tam tells him to take care of their family home. Hang plans the 3 funerals for Aunt Tam after she dies, but he chooses not to live in the house. She wanted to return to a university auditorium and travel to a distant port where a plane could land and take off. She believes that she cannot waste her life living up to the legacy of past crimes.
About the author. Duong Thu Huong was born in North Vietnam in 1947 in the Tay Ban area. She went to school at the arts college run by the Vietnamese Ministry of Culture and offered to fight for the Communist Party in the Vietnam War with a women's youth brigade. For the next 7 years, Duong put on plays for the North Vietnamese troops, took care of the hurt, and buried the dead. She was one of only 3 volunteers from the 40-person women's youth squad who made it out alive. After Vietnam was reunited in 1975, Duong became more critical of the communist government as he saw how things were in South Vietnam compared to North Vietnam. Journey in Childhood, her first book, came out in 1985. Her 4th book was Paradise of the Blind, which came out in 1988. As soon as it came out, she was called a dissident writer and kicked out of the Communist Party. After that, she went to jail in 1991 for saying bad things about the Communist Party. Because of censorship in Vietnam, most of her writing is now only available outside of the country. After she got out of jail, she mostly worked as a translator in Vietnam to make money while her books and stories were published in other countries. In 1994, the French government gave her the title of Chevalier of the Order of the Arts and Letters. Her work got her the PN Award in 2005. This award goes to writers who have been attacked for their work. Duong went to Paris in 2006 and lives there.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.